Okay, there will be one of the following on the quiz, and you're going to be given a table, and you have to figure out if it's direct or inverse. Just remember, direct means you're going to see up, and inverse means you're going to see opposites, like up and down. Write an equation for each. So as you look at these x's, I am noticing that these x's are going up in quality, like 3, 6, 12, or in quantity, excuse me, and that the y's are going down. That means it's probably going to be an inverse. And in order to test to inverse, you might forget that the test for inverse is actually y times x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply all my y's, my x's. So 8 times 3, 4 times 6, 2 times 12. All of those equal 24. Because they all equal the same thing, that is in fact an inverse equation. So now I write y equals, remember it's k over x, so it's 24 over x for inverse. Number 56. I'm noticing that my x's are going up in their numbers, and I'm noticing that my y's are also going up. That means I'm going to test for direct. You need to remember that the test for direct is y divided by x. So I'm going to kind of move down here. I'll do 6 divided by 9, 8 divided by 12, and 14 divided by 21. In this case, I get 2 over 3 when I reduce. This one is also 2 over 3. This one is also 2 over 3. Since they all equal 2 over 3, it means it's correct. It is direct. So the equation is y equals, remember it's not k divided by x. For direct, it's y equals k times x, so 2/3 times x. And number 57. I am noticing that in quantity, my x's are going up and my y's are going down in quantity, like absolute value-wise. That's going to be an inverse if it's anything. So I'm going to test y times x. So that would be negative 10 times negative 4. That would be 8 times 5. And that would be 2 times 20. No matter what, each time I will get a positive 40. That means that I did it right, and this is an inverse equation because they're each the same. So it's y equals, inverse is k, so 40 over x. All right, so it's important to remember that inverse is y equals k over x, and direct is y equals k times x when you make the equation. 58, we're going to write an inverse model, inverse variation to model. Then answer the question. There's one of these on your quiz. 2 rectangular fields have the same area. The length varies inversely with the width. Make a general equation. So right here, length varies inversely with the width. That's very important for you to be able to pick up just on that general equation. One measures 75 by 60. So 75 we'll call the length. 60, let me zoom out, we'll call the width. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug those in. So it's going to be k over 60. Let's solve for k by multiplying by 60. 75 times 60 is 4,500 for k. So my new equation will be L equals 4,500 over W. Now let's read the next sentence. If the other has a length of 72, then we know 4,500, what is the width? Multiply both sides by W. So you get 72W equals 4,500. Divide by 72. We get 62.5. And I think this is measured in yards. Number 59. The time required to run a certain distance varies inversely with the speed. So here's time, Here's varying inversely with the speed. Kevin is training to run a half marathon. Initially, he could run 6 miles an hour, that's a rate, for 2 hours, that's a time. Multiply each side by 6, that's 12 equals K. So my general equation is T equals 12 over R. 2 months later, he ran the same distance in 1 hour and 45 minutes. What is his new speed? So 1 hour and 45, that is 45 minutes out of 60 is 3/4 of an hour. I hope you know that. So that's 1 hour and 45 minutes equals 12 over R. Now we need to solve for R. Multiply by R, 175 equals 12. Divide by 1.75. And it's 6 does that tell us what to round to? No. We'll say 86. And that's miles per hour. So he has improved his speed. Okay, now from lesson 11.7, we're talking about asymptotes and graphing. There's one of these on the quiz. Please remember there's a 0 in the back of this equation. The asymptotes are x equals -2 from the opposite of the bottom and y equals 0 from the number in the back. What that means is that you're going to have a vertical line where x is -2 and a horizontal line where y is 0 that the graph will touch but never approach but never touch. XY chart. I'm going to plug in, I don't know, this is our equation, so I'm definitely, the middle number is that -2. That's going to be the middle number. That's going to give us an undefined answer. How about I do -1.5 and see what happens? We'll do -1.5, -1. Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds good. -0.5 and 0. Let's just see what's happening on those points. So I'm going to do 8 divided by the quantity, -1.5 plus 2. It's going to give me 16, a very high number. Now let's try -1. When I plug in -1, I get 8. Now let's try 0.5 and see what happens. I get 5.3 repeating. Now let's try 0. I get 4. Let's see if that's enough to get our shape. Now we could go further. We could go I don't know, let's go to negative. Until you get a really good shape, you got to kind of keep going. Why don't we go to -2 just to see what happens? Oh, I don't know why I said -2. That's not going to work. How about we go to +2? -2 is undefined. That's going to equal 2. Let's see if that's enough to get a good shape so we know what it looks like. So over 0, I'm going to do 2, 2. What else can I do? 0, 4. -1 and 8. That's good enough for that side. Maybe I should have plugged in some higher numbers, I don't know, let's see what happens at 10. So it's 0.7-ish. Okay, so that gives me a pretty darn good looking graph there. I know exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to approach but never touch the asymptotes. And then we got to do the same thing on the other side. So how about we plug in really close to -2? How about we go let's see what -3 looks like. And you can pick numbers until you get a pretty graph. So -3 is going to be -8. Why don't I try -4 and see what happens? I get -4. picture go? Okay, let's try negative -8 and see what happens. Negative 8 is negative 1.3 repeating. Let's see if that's good enough to get a pretty good shape. So negative 3 is 8, or negative 8. Do you see how I just kind of like go for it until I get something nice? All right, that's good enough. I see a pretty good graph. I'm going to connect. Okay, so you guys have to pick points until it looks really good, until you get like this really nice shape. All right, please remember there's a +0 down here with the x. So my asymptotes are x equals 0 and y equals the number in the back, a -3. Make an xy chart with that x value in the middle because you know that's going to be your undefined point. Let's check out what happens. So like at 0, we're going to have an asymptote, and at positive or -3 on the y. Okay, let's see how we do. I want to just plug in -1 and see what happens. And then is there a -3 in the back? So I get -7. I want to plug in -2 and see what happens. I get -5. These aren't bad. I can use these. Let's try -3 and see what happens. -4.3. You know what I'm going to try is, I'm going to try -8 just to see what happens. Maybe that'll give me a nicer graph. That looks good. Huh. So -3.5. So -8 was -3.5. I want to see what happens here. Okay, let's plug in +1. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so I get 1. I'm going to see what happens when we plug in 2. I get -1. Let's see what happens when I plug in 3. -1.7. And now let's try 8. Oopsie. -2.5. And let's graph those and see what it looks like. Okay, -8 and -3.5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here, so close to the asymptote. -3, -4.1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4.3. -2, -5. Yeah, that gives me a pretty good look at what this graph's going to look like. Nothing wrong with that at all. And now I got the other one's going to go in that corner, so 1, 1. What else do I have? 2 over 2, -1. That looks good. 3, 1.7. 8, -2.5. 6, 7, 8, 2.5. Oops, that'll be here. I think that looks like a pretty good looking graph. Done. Those take a while, so you just need to make sure you know that what your middle number is and just pick numbers that surround it until you get a really pretty graph. Oh my gosh, 2 more? Boo. Okay, asymptotes are x equals -4 and y equals -1 because the opposite of the bottom. XY chart, put -4 here in the middle. And I'm just gonna, let's see what -3 does and -2. Let's see what -5 does and -6, and we'll go from there. I know -4 is going to be undefined. If you can't see that, here's why. Make sure you put it in quantities, please, because there's a binomial in the denominator. See how you get undefined for -4? Okay. Let's see what -3 does. 2 divided by -3 plus 4 minus 1. Okay, so that's going to give me 1. Now let's try -2. It's going to give me a 0. Let's try -1 and see what happens. Just enough to get the shape. Okay, we'll give those a shot. Now let's try -5. Let's try -6. Let's try -7 and see what happens. So -1.7 when we round. Let's graph. I guess I could have put my asymptotes on here, huh? Okay, so it should approach those but not touch those. -1 and -0.3. -2, 0, -3, 1. I think I see an okay graph. I think I'm going to plug in 0 though. -0.5. Just so I can see what was happening. Alright, I can see that shape pretty good. Okay, let's do the other side. It looks like I'm probably going to want to go to -8. Oh boy. -1.5. Let's see what that looks like. So -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -3, -6, -2. -7, -1.7. Okay, I see a shape starting to happen. -8, -1.5. All right, that's good enough. I see a shape. Remember, it will approach the asymptote but never touch it. Another XY chart. X equals 1 because it opposite the denominator. Y equals 2 because of what's in the back. XY chart, put 1 in the middle because it's going to be undefined. Let's look at 0, -1, and -2 just to see what happens. Zero gives us -1. Now I'm going to try -1. 0.5. Let's try -2. 1. You know what, let's try, why don't we try -10 just to see what it looks like. Positive 1.7. Okay. Let's get 2, 3, and 4 on here, and then let's jump to +10 and see what we get. So 2 gives me 5. 3 gives me 3.5. 4 gives me 3. And now for that kind of outrageous one, just so I can see what happens, 10 gives me 2.3. Let's graph those. Oh, I never put my asymptotes on. There's the x equals 1. There's the y equals 2. Okay, -10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1.7. Alright, getting closer. Alright, I see a pretty good shape here. Approach but never touch. Alright, and then here, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. The shape is starting to come together. There's 10. There we go. I can see the shape. I don't really like it that much. Did I count right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't go high enough on my 2. See, that didn't look very good. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3.5 is... Oh, I did pretty bad. 1, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.5. All right. And 4 was at 3. Okay, here we go. Good. Approach but never touch. Well, I'm glad those are done. Those are like my least favorite on here. All right, word problems. I like these. P.S. There are 2 word problems on the quiz. The function I equals 350 over x squared gives the intensity in lumens x feet from a light bulb that has the 350 watt. What is the intensity of light when you are 40 feet away? 40 feet away is the distance of x. So I plug 40 in for x. I can literally type this on my calculator and get why don't we say the intensity is 0.219 and it is measured in lumens. Okay, not so bad, was it, guys? That was pretty easy. Number 70. You guys all decide to take the field trip to come and see me after I have the baby. Thanks. The overall expense is $200 and each person has to bring $3 for lunch. My daughter's talking to me. Hi, Lily.
I want to get a popsicle.
You want to get a popsicle? Okay, Mommy's on her last problem on her notes, okay?
Does that have my hand?
If you crawl up here, it will have your hand. Hey, wait for Daddy to help you. Oh, good. Lily's going to help. So, y equals, no matter what, you need to bring $3. Put that in the back. Okay? I'm not paying for your lunch. You got to bring $3. Next.
That's my hand.
Yes, it is. Can I finish this problem? It's pretty cute. All right. You are enhancing their learning, aren't you, baby? Okay. Now, this $200, if you're going by yourself...
Hi, kids.
You're funny. If you're going by yourself, the trip will cost you $203.
Can you help me to say hi, kids?
Hi, kids.
Hi, kids.
Say, do you miss my mommy?
Do you miss my mommy?
Say, she's probably taking care of a baby right now.
Take the baby.
Okay. Nope, don't hit that button. That would ruin everything. All right. Daddy, are you going to help me keep an eye on her, please? I just don't want her to hit the power button. The kids are probably enjoying this. Oh, careful. I don't want to hit you with my pencil. You got her, Daddy?
Yep.
I'm coming. Okay. If you're going by yourself, the trip would be $200 plus $3. But because you guys are splitting this $200, you just have to take it and divide by how many of you guys are coming. Now, here's the model. Now, we need to figure out... That's awesome, sweetie. We need to figure out how many people we're bringing. So that is going to be $15. So X is the number of people. Yes, Lily?
Mommy, do you want the last popsicle?
What, honey?
Do you want a popsicle?
I will share one, yes. And Y is the price per person. Perfect, sweetheart. So we want it to be $15.
Here, Mama.
Wow, Lily, that is so nice. Look, my daughter gave me a popsicle. Okay, now we solve for X by taking away 3. Lily, say, take away 3.
Take away 3.
So we get, say, 12 equals 200 over X. Multiply by X.
Here, hold my popsicle.
Oh, you're coming back on my lap. Literally the last problem of the day. Okay, hold on nice and tight. Don't fall. Okay, put your hand up there for him. Wow, Lily. Hi, Lily.
Person. Our friend.
Oh, they are friends. Sure, why not? No. I'm almost done. Okay, hold on. Let Mommy finish this problem, okay? And then we'll call it a day, okay? And you can have Mommy's attention. Okay. Hi, guys. So we multiply?
Your computer's dying.
No, it just because I haven't done anything.
Please. Lily.
Okay, so this gets, you get 12x. Are you guys learning anything? And this equals...
numbers, Mama.
Good, thank you. The x's cancel and that equals 200. Lily, I need you to divide 200 by 12 on my calculator.
Let's see, ready? Let's see.
No.
X equals...
No.
You can help
10.
out, Mommy.
I need... hold on here. Wait, watch. I bet that hurt.
You okay?
It was an accident. 200 divided by 12. Lily, 16. I need... Wow, not 10. Whoa. I need 16.6 kids to come visit me after I have the baby. But I can't have 0.6 of a kid, so 17 kids. Okay, we're done. Bye, everybody. I can't find the stop button.
Mommy.
Yes, Lily.
Down.
Okay, I have to find the stop button.
No, Daddy.
Oh, my.